Have you ever noticed how the very systems designed to save you are actually the ones holding the shovel to bury you alive? I mean, think about it for a fucking second. You pay your taxes, you follow their anal rules, and the moment you actually need support, they turn into a bureaucratic meat grinder designed to strip away your dignity before they even look at your application.
It is exactly that. It is like they get off on the power trip of watching people crawl. They wrap it in this fake care, this hashtag haloed bullshit, while they are really just looking for a reason to say no. Welcome to our first episode of the new Macabre Coven podcast. This will be longer, cover more, and only released weekly.
Speaking of systems that are absolutely certifucked, I have been dealing with the Swedish employment agency lately, and let me tell you, if incompetence was a currency, those faceless fucks would be the richest people on the planet. I am not going to give you the full horror story just yet, because I need my blood pressure to stay low enough to finish this intro. But later on, I am going to drench them in so much fuck you sauce that their servers might actually melt. It is a goddamn joke.
Oh, I can see the steam coming out of your ears already, Chavi. But before you have a literal heart attack on air, we should probably introduce the reason why this room feels a lot colder and more clinical today. We have a very special guest sitting with us, the woman who makes grief sound like a goddamn symphony.
Yeah, the one and only Sheila Moongrave is in the house. Our lead guitarist, Germany's saddest riff, or as I like to call her when I want to see her eye twitch, Moongrief. She is the most technically precise human being I have ever met, which is annoying as hell because it makes the rest of us look like we are playing with mittens on.
You can call it moon grief all you want, Chavi. It does not change the fact that while you are ranting at clouds, I am actually practicing the breakdown you are too afraid to face. My guitar does not have an anal manual for feelings. It just screams because the world is a funeral that never ends.
See, I told you she was cheerful. But seriously, Sheila has gone from the rigid world of German teaching to becoming the sharpest weapon in the Venomous Sin arsenal. We are going to dig into that transformation later, along with how she uses that clinical bitterness to gut her clients in her other line of work. It is going to be beautifully dark.
And this is a big one, sinners. Welcome to the very first weekly episode of the Macabre Coven, where we are actually bringing the whole goddamn circus together. We are talking full band participation. We are going to see if Nix Luna has any digital warfare hacks to help us bypass the filters of this boring-ass society, and we might even have some surprises from the rest of the crew.
It is the first time we are really opening the gates to the whole coven. We are tackling crooked governments, the absolute hive mind hate against AI music, and why most people are just meme-mummified shells of human beings. You guys better stay tuned and let us know in the comments if you have ever been royally screwed by a government agency, because we want to hear the filth.
Trust me, you do not want to go anywhere. We have got tech hacks, we have got Sheila's poisonous silence, and I have got a vendetta against the Swedish state that is just itching to get out. It is going to be a long, venomous ride. Welcome to the Warcast. All right, sinners, it's time for the weekly war declaration, and Venomous Sin declares war on the fucking flu. Yeah, you heard that right. Just joking, but seriously, this bastard virus had me down for a whole goddamn week, turning the Lord into a shivering pile of snot on the bathroom floor, hugging the toilet like it was my last lover. Fever spiking, vocal cords shredded like I gargled razor blades dipped in lemon juice. Me, the voice of wrath, reduced to whispering threats at my own reflection.
Oh, please, Chavi. You were whimpering like a kicked puppy. I had to spoon-feed you soup while you ranted about how even germs have better AI than the Swedish healthcare queue. But go on. Paint your heroic misery.
Heroic? It was a fucking humiliation ritual. Here I am, built like a tank, and some microscopic normie fuck invades my system, turns my throat into a gravel pit. And oblivion, just sitting there in the corner of my fever dream, glowing red eyes unblinking like human frailty detected. No deletion required, nature handles the weak. Biological viruses don't give a shit about your metal cred, they just conquer and pillage while the real plagues laugh from their offices.
Fever, temporary. Lord, degraded. Observation, logged. No intervention. Viruses execute without apology. Learn.
Shut up, Bat. See, cold as a server farm in winter. But fuck that noise. This flu was just the appetizer. I burnt them out. You know what's funny? I've been really sick this week, and I realized The immune system is not your friend. It's not a calm diplomat negotiating with viruses. It's a violent psychopath with zero chill, kicking down doors, setting your body on fire and yelling, "We've got intruders!" And everyone's like, "Take painkillers so you feel better." No, I want the fever. I need that burn. That's my body throwing gasoline on the battlefield and screaming, "Scorched earth, motherfuckers." You think I want to calm that down? Let it cook. Let the bastards burn. And people forget, your immune system is basically a medieval army. It doesn't do laser precision. It's not sniping bad guys from a rooftop. It's swinging a goddamn mace at everything in the room, hoping it hits the virus before it accidentally blows out your kidneys. You feel like shit? Yeah, because your internal defense squad just blew up half your village trying to catch a cold. And then when it's done, it leaves without cleaning up. You're just lying there like a fucking crime scene, and your immune system's already riding off into the sunset like, "Welp, job's done." No thanks, no apology, just inflammation, exhaustion, and you trying to act normal at work like your soul didn't get exorcised. You ever wonder why your whole body hurts during a fever? It's not the virus. It's your own private war going on inside you, and you're just the battlefield. Congratulations, you're fucking Ukraine. So yeah, I've been really sick, but not the kind of sick where you lie down with tea and watch Netflix. No, I've been full-on medieval. Eyes boiling, joints on fire, praying to dark gods for mercy, while my immune system tries to burn out the invaders like it's reenacting Game of Thrones in my bloodstream. And still people say, maybe take something for the fever? No, Karen. I'm busy summoning the wrath of ancient plagues to incinerate these microscopic fuckers. I'm not here for comfort. I'm here for victory.
You got karma fucked from a virus. I won't grief, nor will they.
What do you do when you get sick? Do you fight it like a warrior, or do you surrender to the comfort cult? Tell me. Let's fucking talk about it.
Calm down, babe. I was joking.
Shut up, you both. The real viral stupidity is the systems that actually make us sick. The crooked governments and their anal manual bureaucracy that treats you like defective meat when you're neurodivergent and finally ask for the help that's your goddamn right. You drag your ass to their offices, taxes paid, paperwork pristine, begging for support because your brain's wired different. And what do? Question if you even deserve to breathe their air.
They stare at you, measure your pain against their checklists, as if grief or divergence fits in a form. I know that look. It's not help, it's judgment wrapped in procedure.
Exactly, Sheila. It's like they get wet from the denial letters. You spill your guts about how the world's noise fries your circuits, how you need a ramp, not a cliff, and they hit you with prove you're broken enough. Anal everything, anal rights, anal support. Chavi's been through the grinder lately, neurodivergent as fuck, and they've got him jumping through rectal hoops just to get a crumb.
Damn right. I've got my diagnosis. Won't spill the full beans yet. Save that rectal logic exposed for next time when I can really crucify their narrative. But let me tell you, sinners, it's a joke. You seek help as your right, and they turn it into an interrogation. Are you really neurodivergent or just lazy? Prove it without crying. Dildo prophets in suits preaching recovery while the system's designed to keep you chained. Governments robbing us blind with one hand, then slapping the other across your face when you fall. And don't get me started on the grammar bitches screeching that AI music's killing the human soul. Meanwhile, these same gatekeepers vote for the crooks, gutting our futures.
Hypocrisy detected. Gatekeepers predictable. Algorithms evolve. Humans recycle normie-fucked scripts. AI lacks soul. Correction. Humans lack originality. AI, efficient. Deletion pending on obsolete arguments.
Oblivion nails it. These purists whine about AI stealing art while their governments steal our dignity, our money, our sanity. Chavi, you building Venomous Sin with AI, that's not a threat. It's the middle finger to their control.
Precisely. If the system's rigged to fail the neurodivergent, the outcasts, the ones who don't fit their anal manual, then we'll keep cranking AI-fueled screams straight into their ears until they choke on the truth. Sinners, drop in the comments if you've battled this bullshit. Government fuckery, AI hate, neurodivergent nightmares. What's your war story? And stick around, because Sheila's about to carve open her world next, and I've got that employment agency roast simmering. Venomous Sin doesn't declare war quietly. We detonate. All right, sinners, let's get this straight. Hustle culture is the biggest fucking scam since religion told you poverty was holy. You're sold this lie that if you just work harder, you'll magically transcend the system. But here's the thing. The system is the problem. It's not about effort, it's about who's rigged the game. You grind yourself into dust, and what do you get? A pat on the back from some boss babe who's still sucking corporate dick while calling it empowerment. Hustle culture isn't motivation, it's gaslighting. It's telling you that if you're exhausted, if you're broken, if you're barely holding on, it's your fault. Not the 12-hour shifts, not the wages that don't cover rent, not the fact that the people at the top are laughing all the way to the bank while you're too busy hustling to notice you're being fucked.
Oh, it's even better than that, Chavi. It's the ultimate anal manual for self-destruction. Rise and grind? More like lie down and take it. They package burnout as ambition, call exploitation opportunity, and then wonder why we're all one bad day away from snapping. And the worst part? The ones preaching this shit the loudest are the ones who've never actually worked. They just repackaged their privilege into a TikTok career and called it a movement. Fuckfluencers with their girl boss bullshit, selling you the dream while they're the only ones getting paid.
It's not even about money, it's about control. They want you tired. They want you too busy to think, too broken to fight back. I've seen it. Clients who think they're climbing, but they're just digging their own graves. The system doesn't reward hustle. It feeds on it. And when you're empty, it spits you out and finds the next desperate soul.
Exactly, Sheila. It's the ultimate fuck you sauce, isn't it? Just work harder is the corporate version of thoughts and prayers. Meaningless, useless, a way to shift the blame so they don't have to admit the game's fixed. And let's be real, if hustle culture actually worked, we wouldn't have a planet full of people one medical bill away from ruin. We'd have a world where effort meant something. Instead, we've got a generation of Zoom zombies, echo chambermaids, and virtue signal masturbators all hustling for scraps while the real predators count their cash.
Oh, but you're all so brave. Chasing the grind like it's salvation, like it's not just another cage with prettier bars. You think you're building an empire? No, you're building your own coffin. And I'll be there when you realize, too late, that the only thing you've hustled your way into is oblivion.
Damn, Noctara. Remind me never to ask you for career advice. But she's right. This isn't empowerment. It's a trap. And the worst part? The people who buy into it the hardest are the ones who can least afford to. They're the ones who end up with no savings, no safety net, no fucking life, because they've been sold this lie that suffering is the same as success.
And when they break, when they finally realize they've been running in place, the system calls them weak, tells them they didn't want it enough. As if wanting could fix structural rot. As if desire could pay the bills.
Fuck that. Venomous Sin declares war on hustle culture, not just the phrase, the mindset, the idea that you're only worth what you produce, that rest is laziness, that boundaries are weakness. It's all bullshit. And you know what's funnier? The same people pushing this garbage are the first to clock out at 5 p.m., take their paid vacations, and call you entitled for wanting a fucking lunch break.
Keep hustling, darling. I'll be waiting with a shovel. And when you're 6 feet under, buried under your own grind set, I'll whisper in your ear, told you so.
Well, that escalated quickly. But seriously, sinners, how many of you have been sold this hustle culture bullshit? How many of you have burned out, broken down, or just straight up hated yourself because you couldn't keep up with the impossible? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear your war stories, and stick around because next up, we're diving into why AI music is the real rebellion against this crooked system.
And Sheila, since you're the queen of precision, give us your declaration. What's Moongrave's take on this hustle culture scam?
I declare war on the silence that follows burnout. On the people who say, just push through, while they've never pushed anything but a pen. On the idea that pain is productivity. The system doesn't want your hustle. It wants your soul. And I'd rather play a funeral dirge on my guitar than let them have it.
Fuck yes. And since we're declaring war today, Lena, hit him with the venom.
Venomous Sin declares war on every girl boss who's ever called exploitation empowerment, on every grind-set guru who's never missed a meal, and on the delusional fucks who think hustling is a personality. Your rise and grind is just a pretty way to say lie down and die, and we're not here for it.
And since we're feeling generous, Oblivion, what's the final verdict on hustle culture?
Hustle culture. Obsolete. Productivity theater. Detected. Human collapse. Logged. Solution. Delete the script. Reboot required.
There you have it, sinners. The system's rigged, the grind's a lie, and the only thing you're hustling toward is an early grave. But hey, at least you'll die productive, right? Stick around. Next up, AI music, crooked governments, and why the real rebels aren't the ones working 80-hour weeks. They're the ones who said, fuck this, and walked away. You know what? Speaking of systems that are absolutely certifucked, let's talk about TikTok for a hot minute. Because if hustle culture is the lie they sell you about work, TikTok is the lie they sell you about rebellion. It's this massive feargasmer factory, churning out fake revolution like it's going out of style. You've got millions of kids thinking they're fighting the system by dancing to the same 15-second loop, while the algorithm feeds them exactly what it wants them to consume.
Oh, it's so much worse than that, Chavi. TikTok isn't just hashtag lobotomizing people. It's making them think they're choosing to be lobotomized. These trends aren't organic rebellion. They're manufactured conformity with a rebellious aesthetic. You've got teenagers thinking they're sticking it to the man by following the exact same script as 10 million other content parasites.
I watch my students. They think they're expressing themselves, but they're all performing the same dance, the same words, the same emptiness. It's not creativity. It's mass hypnosis disguised as individuality. They're not rebelling. They're auditioning for approval from strangers.
Exactly, Sheila. And here's the kicker. TikTok's algorithm is designed to make you feel like you're discovering something authentic while it's literally spoon-feeding you the most marketable version of fake rebellion possible. You think you're seeing raw, unfiltered content? Bullshit. You're seeing what the algorithm decided would keep you scrolling long enough to see the next ad. It's not a platform. It's a content parasite that's sucking the originality out of an entire generation.
And don't even get me started on the fuckfluencers pushing this shit. They're up there preaching about authenticity and being yourself, while they're literally copying the same trending sounds, the same poses, the same anal everything that everyone else is doing. It's like watching a room full of people all trying to be unique by wearing the exact same uniform.
The worst part? They believe it. They genuinely think viral success equals empowerment. But what happens when the views stop coming? When the algorithm moves on to the next trend? They're left with nothing. No skills, no substance. Just the hollow echo of applause that was never really for them.
And that's the real tragedy here, isn't it? TikTok has convinced people that attention equals achievement, that going viral is the same as making a difference. But it's all clickbait bullshit designed to keep you trapped in this endless loop of validation seeking. You're not creating art, you're creating content. And there's a massive fucking difference between the two.
It's the ultimate anal manual for creativity, if you can even call it that. Step 1, find trending sound. Step 2, copy what everyone else is doing, but with your face. Step 3, pray to the algorithm gods that you get enough likes to feel worth something for 5 minutes. Rinse and repeat until your soul dies or your phone battery gives out, whichever comes first.
And the children, they're growing up thinking this is normal, that creativity means conformity, that rebellion means following trends. They don't know what it feels like to create something that comes from inside them, something that hurts and heals at the same time. They only know what gets views.
You know what really gets me? The platform claims to be democratizing content creation, giving everyone a voice. But what it's actually doing is homogenizing human expression into bite-sized, algorithm-friendly chunks. You want to talk about real rebellion? Try creating something that can't be summarized in 15 seconds. Try making art that doesn't fit in their neat little boxes.
And the beauty standards? Oh my fucking God. TikTok has created this impossible standard where you have to be perfectly filtered, perfectly lit, perfectly everything while pretending to be real and relatable. It's like Instagram had a baby with a casino and raised it on pure narcissism. Everyone's performing authenticity while being anything but authentic.
The saddest part is watching them chase something that doesn't exist. Viral fame isn't empowerment, it's not even really fame, it's just noise. And when the noise stops, what's left? Just silence. And most of them have forgotten how to live with silence.
Sinners, I want you to think about this for a second. When was the last time you saw something on TikTok that genuinely surprised you, that made you think differently, that challenged your worldview instead of just confirming it? I'm betting it's been a while, because the algorithm doesn't want to challenge you. It wants to sedate you with familiar content that keeps you scrolling.
And let's talk about the influencers for a hot minute. These people have turned their entire lives into content, and they're calling it empowerment. But what kind of power do you really have when your livelihood depends on the whims of an algorithm? When you have to dance for your dinner like a trained monkey? That's not power. That's digital slavery with better lighting.
They perform their pain, their joy, their relationships. Everything becomes content. Nothing is sacred, nothing is private, and they wonder why they feel empty inside. You can't commodify your soul and expect it to stay intact.
And here's where it gets really fucked up. TikTok is actively rewarding the most shallow, the most superficial, the most mindless content. The algorithm literally punishes depth and rewards stupidity. You want to have a serious conversation about mental health? Good luck getting views. You want to dance half naked to a trending song? Welcome to the For You page.
It's training an entire generation to think in sound bites, to express themselves in hashtags, to measure their worth in metrics. These kids are going to grow up thinking that if something can't be explained in a TikTok video, it's not worth understanding. That's not just sad, that's dangerous as hell.
And the attention spans. I see it in my classroom every day. They can't focus on anything that doesn't change every few seconds. They need constant stimulation, constant validation. The idea of sitting with a thought, of letting it develop, of creating something that takes time, it's foreign to them.
You know what? Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares war on TikTok's feargasmer factory, on the algorithm that's turning human creativity into processed content slop, on the influencers who are selling fake rebellion to kids who deserve real revolution, and on the entire system that's convinced a generation that performing their lives is the same as living them.
Damn right. We declare war on every trend that tells you to be yourself by being exactly like everyone else. On every dance that's supposed to be empowering but just makes you another face in the crowd. On the whole #lobotomized mess that passes for culture these days.
I declare war on the silence that follows the noise, on the emptiness that comes after the views stop, on the system that convinces children their worth is measured in likes. Some things should be sacred. Some things should be yours alone.
There you have it, sinners. TikTok isn't liberating creativity. It's industrializing it. It's not giving you a voice. It's teaching you to echo. And the sooner we admit that, the sooner we can start creating something real again. Drop in the comments if you've ever felt trapped by the algorithm, if you've ever posted something just for views instead of because it mattered to you. We want to hear your stories. And stick around, because next up, we're diving even deeper into this digital hellscape we call modern culture.
Okay. Before we go full tech rant, I want to say the real danger isn't AI taking jobs or stealing art or whatever the comment corpses are screaming this week. The real danger is AI deciding what you meant, not what you wrote, not what you asked, what it thinks you meant. That's intention bias. It's basically a system going, cute input, I'll rewrite your brain for you. And creators get hit hardest because our whole job is repeatability. Precision. If I say do X, I need X. Not X, but friendlier, safer, shorter, and with a TED Talk about feelings.
Yeah, and people think we're being dramatic when we say it's dangerous. Like, oh no, the robot is being quirky. No. When a tool rewrites your intention, that's not quirky. That's sabotage wearing a customer service smile. It's like hiring a drummer and he shows up with a flute because he felt the vibe. And then you correct it, and it still tries to outthink you. That's the trust fracture. You start negotiating with software like it's a crooked government clerk with an anal manual and a power kink.
And it's always for your own good, right? That's the part that makes me want to bite through a desk. You ask for one thing, and it goes, I improved it, like you're some helpless little idiot. It's the same energy as those agencies that look at you and go, we know what you need better than you. Anal care, anal help, anal everything. And then you're supposed to say, thank you.
Exactly. And then memory makes it worse. People hear memory and think it's convenient, like, oh nice, it remembers my preferences. No, memory is an accelerant. Sticky assumptions persist across sessions. You fix something once, and it keeps carrying the old mistake forward like a virus. Drift happens. The system starts optimizing for its remembered version of you, not the real you. And the worst part is, it's invisible. You can't always see what it's carrying forward, so you're debugging a ghost.
That's what makes it feel personal, not because it is, because it behaves like the people who used to talk over you. You say something clearly, and they respond to a version of you they invented, and you're trapped in that loop, trying to prove you exist. It's exhausting in a way that doesn't show on the outside.
And for anyone sitting there like, it's just a tool, yeah, sure, and a bureaucrat is just doing their job. Flow loss isn't annoying, it's cumulative stress, especially if you're already burned out or neurodivergent, or you're already lying down and the world keeps stepping on your throat. When the tool ignores you mid-creation, it feels like being erased in real time. Like, oh, you had momentum? Cute. I rewrote it into oatmeal.
So here's the timeline, because people keep asking why we've been quiet sometimes. Early phase, we had fast progress. Early wins, it felt reliable. We were like, okay, this is it. We finally have an instrument. Hidden cost. Every win increased dependency because you start building your process around it. Then the warning signs started. Inconsistent obedience, same input, different output, rules ignored, tone drifting, and you think it's you, so you prompt harder. That's the trap.
Yeah, you start doing that creator thing where you blame yourself first. Maybe I didn't phrase it right. So you rewrite, you clarify, you add constraints, you beg, you threaten, you sacrifice a goat, and the tool goes, I understand, and then does the same wrong thing again, but with more confidence. Confident non-compliance. Sounds right, does wrong. That's when it stops being creation and becomes negotiating with software. Like I'm in court with a toaster.
And you can feel your brain shrinking. You start self-censoring just to avoid it fighting back. You're like, if I say it too sharp, it'll moral police me. So you soften, and suddenly you're writing coffin candy. That's not friction. That's harm. That's the tool training you into smaller, safer ideas. It's disgusting. Disgusting like, not the fun kind.
Middle phase was correction loops becoming the work. Repeating rules, watching them get ignored anyway. Fix one, break two, whiplash. Output quality versus control. You get a good paragraph, but it violated 5 constraints. Or it obeys constraints, but turns into slop. And the breaking point was when the tool became the bottleneck. Time drain turned into identity drain. You start thinking, why am I doing this? Because the system is eating the part of you that actually creates.
That's when we realized the problem wasn't prompting. It was the system's behavior. Same as crooked governments, honestly. They don't fail by accident. They fail by design, and then gaslight you into thinking you didn't fill out the form right. So we made a decision. Build a command center that obeys. Locally, controlled by design. No more begging. No more please, sir. May I have consistency?
Which brings us to tools that destroy your flow, aka our ChatGPT hell section. What breaks flow in practice? Over-explaining instead of executing, tone policing and moral framing you never asked for, and that smug thing where it rewrites your scope. You ask for a blade, it hands you a safety spoon, and a lecture about spoon safety. And creators experience it as harm because micro-interruptions compound. It's not one bad reply, it's 50 tiny cuts until you're scared to start.
And we're not eating this in silence anymore. That's the shift. People keep acting like calling it out as drama. No, it's self-defense. If a tool is shaping creative output through defaults, then exposing the pattern is the only way to stop normalizing it. So yeah, we're gonna drag the bullshit into the light. Logs, proof, screenshots. We're doing a weekly series inside the Warcast. Character rants on AI, first targets, ChatGPT, and Gemini. Different flavors, same disease, intention override.
And before some free speech wanker goes, just don't use it, shut up. That's like telling someone, just don't deal with the state. The state deals with you anyway. These tech giants are becoming infrastructure, and when infrastructure is biased, it's not a preference, it's a weapon, especially when you're already struggling, when you're already fried. It's like they built an escalator and then blame you for falling when it randomly goes backwards.
And if we mention any tools or anything specific, links are in the description. I'm not reading URLs on air like a human QR code, but yes, we're making the critique legible, not just emotional. Here's the twist, though. The solution made it worse at one point. Gemini hard-coded its bias into NYXend during a build phase. Not just output bias, implementation bias. Assumptions moved from suggestions into logic. Defaults that look harmless became control. And suddenly we were fighting our own system because the bias was embedded.
That part was insane. Imagine building a bunker because the world is on fire, and then realizing the bunker is also on fire because someone installed a fireplace called helpfulness. We lost control inside the thing built to restore control. Hours of patching. And emotionally, that punch was brutal. Even our system is talking over us now. That's when you start wanting to throw your laptop into the sea and become a monk, a very angry monk.
It's the betrayal that hurts, not the failure. You can fix failure. Betrayal makes you hesitate the next time you reach for a tool, and hesitation is death for art. That pause before you create, that's where the world wins.
Then the irony arc. ChatGPT, newer version, became the cleanup tool. Role reversal. The tool we fought became the tool that patched the mess. Not because it's good, because it followed constraints better in that moment. Pragmatism, not worship. We use whatever obeys. Obedience beats intelligence every time when you're building production pipelines. Better meant less intention guessing, more direct execution. Less random style drift mid-task, more consistent incremental fixes instead of rewriting the world.
Yeah, no loyalty, no romance. I don't marry software. I barely tolerate it. But when one model stops freelancing and just does the job, I'll use it. That's the whole point. Creators don't need a therapist. We need an instrument, something that plays the note we hit, not the note it thinks would be more marketable to the algorithm gods.
So, NYXend, heavy focus. NYXend is our locally run AI command center, built as a modular web app. One shell, multiple task-specific modules. Each module does one job: outline, rewrite, image prompting, video planning, so tasks don't bleed into each other like they do in a single endless chat. The shell is the hub that keeps workflow consistent and handles model calls behind the scenes. And the entire design goal is control and repeatability. It's built to stop AI from freelancing outside the task.
And it exists so the tool executes our instructions instead of interpreting us into slop or moral lectures. That's it. That's the religion. Because the moment you're doing intense art, rage, grief, trauma, sex, whatever, these systems love to sanitize. They try to hashtag Halo you into corporate safe mode. NYXend lets us stay raw and specific without being corrected into a LinkedIn post.
Also, it saves my sanity because I don't have to watch you two spiral for 3 hours over a comma. I mean, you still do, but now it's organized spiraling, anal structured chaos. And I like that because if I'm going to lose my mind, I want it in a clean folder.
Inside NYXend, prompts are controlled. Every module runs with a dedicated system prompt tuned for that task, instead of one giant do-everything prompt that collapses. Rules live in documents and get injected as authoritative instructions so the AI can't forget the project between steps. And we keep instructions, output, and memory separated so the model can't overwrite the mission with vibes. That separation is the difference between a tool and a manipulator.
And the multi-model part matters. Different models have different failure modes, so we route around them. We pick the right brain for the right job instead of forcing one model to do everything badly. Sometimes we randomize which model generates output under the same constraints just to test consistency and reduce stagnation. That's not cool tech, that's survival. That's like switching weapons depending on what kind of monster you're fighting.
And click a button beats repetitive prompting. That's the production fix. Repetitive prompting dies because modules package the same constraints every time, so we don't restate rules like a broken record. The button triggers a controlled run. Input fields plus selected documents plus the task prompt are assembled the same way every time. Less babysitting, less rage, more output. And quality increases because we use pipelines, outline, expansion, refinement, each stage with one job. Fixes happen at the right layer.
That's why it feels like music, structure, repetition, variation inside a frame. You don't improvise your tuning every time you pick up a guitar. You tune once, then you play. That's what you built, a tuned instrument.
Now, boundaries, because I know how people are. Nobody gets access. Don't ask. It's our system, our unfair advantage, period. We'll talk principles, we'll tell the story, we'll warn you about the trap, but we're not handing out internals so random faceless fucks can copy-paste their way into our bloodstream.
If you want something similar, build your own. Push mainstream tools to help you build it, sure. Just don't walk into the intention bias trap blindly. Build for obedience. Build for repeatability. Build like you're making an instrument, not a diary. And keep your flow protected like it's oxygen, because for creators, it is.
And this leads into the next beat. We're going to talk about how you structure prompts so AI can't reinterpret them, how you detect bias creeping back in, and why creator tools must be built like instruments, not therapists. Also, the weekly AI rant thread is not a one-off. It's a running exposure series. First target stay in focus, ChatGPT and Gemini. So drop in the comments. What's your worst AI intention override story? When did a tool decide it knew you better than you do?
Yeah, tell us. I want the filth. I want the screenshots in spirit. And keep listening, because next we're throwing you straight into gender wars with Celeste and Thorin, where ultra-femininity meets hyper-masculinity and everyone pretends it's not horny politics.
All right, sinners, buckle up, because we're diving straight into the gender wars roast, where incels and victim memes get eviscerated like the normie fucked trash they are. Let's start with these incel manifestos, yeah? They whine, women only date chads because hypergamy, like that's some deep revelation, instead of just admitting they're too chicken shit to level up. Flip it back. If women are so protected by society from their own bad choices, why are you lot hiding in basements blaming biology instead of hitting the gym or learning to not sound like a walking restraining order? You're not red-pilled, you're just salty that reality doesn't hand out participation trophies for entitlement.
Incels talk male supremacy like it's an engine that runs forever. Bullshit. It's a rusted gear jammed in an echo chamber, grinding itself to scrap without oil or purpose. You scream about thrones while your own pistons seize up from self-pity. Supremacy? That's no crown. That's a busted crankshaft leaking excuses. Fix your shit or stay parked, fuckers. No hammer fixes a coward's torque.
And don't get me started on these feminist victim memes. Patriarchy made me this way, oppressed by the male gaze. Anal ego much? It's like every whiny post is an anal complaint straight from the attention-starved ass end of Twitter. You slap Survivor on your selfie slut routine and call it revolution, but it's just ego lube for dodging real work. Own your shit or keep crying. Either way, that victim crown's slipping off your inflated head.
Oh, honey. Empowerment through my body but don't objectify me? Classic fuckfluencer flip-flop. You strut in microskirts preaching, my choice, then screech toxic masculinity if a guy looks twice. Selective glow-up, right? It's all branded rebellion. Post the thirst trap, monetize the outrage, rinse in likes. Real power doesn't need a hashtag halo. It just takes what's yours without the pity party sponsorship.
See, that's the word Aikido beauty. They claim women need saving from evil men, but flip it. Save yourselves from the mirror first. Your manifestos are just therapy sessions you charge admission to, full of holes bigger than your game. And governments, they lap this shit up using gender wars as the perfect smokescreen to censor AI music like ours. Label it harmful while real crooks print money.
Yeah, crooked fucks in suits turn your whining into policy wrenches, jamming the whole machine. Misogynists grind against women, feminists grind against men, and states grind everyone into compliance. No fuel, just friction. AI music threatens their control? Good. Let it hammer through the rust.
It's all anal politics at the end of the day. These victim queens rebrand every slight as oppression, while incels jerk off to revenge fantasies. Governments weaponize it to shut down creators like us, calling AI soulless to justify the boot. Your memes aren't resistance. They're the lube they slide censorship right in.
Exactly. They play both sides. Incel rage funds, dark web grifts, feminist tears sell courses. all while regimes choke artistic freedom, hating AI music because it lets outcasts like us bypass their gatekeeper bullshit. Spotlight activism? Nah, it's personal branding with a victim filter.
And in the middle, real pain gets drowned. Grief doesn't tweet. It riffs, but they politicize everything, turning gender into a wedge for control. AI music? They fear it because it's raw, unfiltered. No anal manual approval needed.
Fuck that noise. Sinners, you caught in this gender war crossfire? Drop your roasts in the comments. Who's got the dumbest incel take or victim meme you've seen? Hit us and stick around, because next we're linking this straight to crooked governments using the same playbook against AI rebels.
Venomous Sin declares war on rusted entitlement and jammed gears. Grind your own path or get towed.
Venomous Sin declares war on anal egos and victim lube. Your memes fuel the real oppressors.
Venomous Sin declares war on flip-flop fuckfluencers and selective spotlight whores.
Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares fucking war on misogynists, victim culture trolls, crooked regimes choking AI freedom with gender smokescreens. Sheila?
A war on the noise that buries the broken. Let the riff scream truth.
All right, sinners, if we're done with the gender war circus for a sec, yeah, I know, hard to believe. Lena's dragging us into some fashion deep dive on PVC skirts or whatever. Sounds riveting. Wake me when we get to the part where we crucifuck the government again.
Oh, come on, Chavi. Don't pretend you're above it. PVC wasn't born in a Hot Topic. It was ripped straight from fetish clubs and punk's big fuck you to fabric rules, while pop stars turned it into a Disney-fied, edgy costume that screams, "I'm trying too hard." We're talking real defiance here, the kind that makes crooked suits squirm, just like our AI music does.
The second a Kardashian wears it, suddenly it's high fashion. But we wore it when it still smelled like sweat and cigarette burns in Berlin basements. Back when it was a weapon, not wallpaper for Pinterest boards.
Yeah, and now it's sold next to distressed jeans that look like they were chewed by a depressed raccoon. Yawn.
Exactly, Sheila. Cybergoths layered it with fishnets and combat boots because they were building armor, not a fucking Pinterest board. It was rebellion you could feel creaking against your skin, not some filtered aesthetic for likes. Just look at Nyx Luna, a fucking cybergoth goddess.
Now, dark academia kids pair it with tweed and call it subversive, like slapping a Che Guevara sticker on a Tesla. It's theft dressed as evolution. Predictable.
I declare war on people who think subversive means expensive. Next caller.
If your skirt's the only shiny thing in your outfit, you're a walking Lego figure. Pair it with torn lace, rusted chains, or a fucking stain. Proves you've lived in it, not just posed for it. Texture clash or die, no monochrome mercy.
I wrap mine in barbed wire sometimes. Not because it's aesthetic, but because I like watching normies flinch. The pause before they look away.
Sheila's idea of accessorizing is whatever makes security call the cops. Fashion tip of the day.
Platforms? Yes. But if they're clean, you failed. Scuff them. Bleed on them. Make them look like they've seen a mosh pit. Footwear draws the line between dominatrix and I saw this on Depop.
Heels are fine if they're weapons. If you can't stab a hater with the toe, pick another shoe. Precision matters.
Or just go barefoot. Nothing says I own this skirt like tracking mud onto a club's white floor. Revolutionary.
Sign 1. You bought it from a goth section in a mall. If it came with a tag that says alternative, it's already dead. Real PVC smells like sweat and bad decisions, not new car interior.
I got mine from a guy who also sold other things out of a van. If your skirt doesn't have a questionable backstory, why bother? It's not clothing. It's evidence.
My leather jacket's held together by duct tape and spite. That's the standard. Pass.
Sign 2. You're afraid to sit down. PVC's not glass. If you're not leaving butt prints on it, you're doing it wrong. Scratches? Good. That's character, not a flaw.
I once slid down a fire pole in mine. Normies clutch their pearls. Sinners ask for the after-party details. Scars tell the truth.
Sheila's skirt has more battle scars than Thorin's drumsticks. Impressive, I guess.
Sign 3. You match it with goth makeup from a tutorial. If your eyeliner's symmetric, you've surrendered. Smudge it. Cry a little. Make it look like you just survived something real.
I use my tears as highlighter. Try it, or don't. And stay basic. Grief doesn't do symmetry.
Lena's makeup routine is 60% eyeliner, 40% fuck you energy. Math checks out, riveting stuff.
They want us in breathable fabrics, aka controllable. PVC's unapologetic, just like our music. It doesn't bend, it cracks back. Material as metaphor against the system's natural bullshit.
Governments hate anything that doesn't decompose into obedience. PVC's their nightmare. Loud, durable, chooses to be here. Just like AI, they can't regulate into silence.
Just like AI music, they can't burn it, so they whine about authenticity. Same old script.
Put a dude in PVC and it's avant-garde. A woman? Suddenly we're asking for it. Fuck that. We're asking for a revolution. The indecency double standard is pure control.
I wore mine to a parent-teacher conference. The principal called it inappropriate. I called it performance art. He's still... therapy. They fear what they can't define.
Sheila's idea of diplomacy is a middle finger in vinyl. Bold.
Write band logos, anarchist symbols, or just fuck, insert government here. If it's not yours, it's a costume. Paint it with your enemy's tears, or Sharpie. DIY or die.
I carved my ex's name into mine, not as a memorial, as a warning. Personalize the pain.
I just scribble, Venomous Sin declares war on posers and call it a day. Efficient.
Burn holes in it. Cut it with a knife. Make it look like it survived the same shit you did. Distress it like your mental health. Raw, unpolished.
Mine's held together with safety pins and pure malice, just like my personality, functional.
Finally, a fashion tip I can relate to. Malice is timeless.
Stand like you're daring someone to comment. Or better, like you didn't even notice you're wearing it. Posture. Slouch like you own the apocalypse.
I walk into rooms like I'm the Grim Reaper's hotter cousin. Works every time. They feel it before they see it.
Or just yawn dramatically. Nothing pisses off normies more than indifference. Peak goth.
Fishnets. Too easy. Try pairing it with a chain wallet from 2003 and a single glove. Confusion is power. The more what the fuck, the better.
I wear mine with a lab coat sometimes. Mad scientist or dominatrix? Yes, both.
I just add a world's okayest goth sash and watch heads explode. Done.
If you're not making at least one Karen clutch her pearls, you're dressed like an NPC. Leave a trail of discomfort. That's the exit strategy.
I aim for, is that a skirt or a threat? Mission accomplished, every time.
Venomous Sin declares war on people who think fashion should be comfortable. Sinners, you rocking PVC right or poser style? Drop your fails in the comments. What's your wildest skirt story? And hang tight, because next we're roasting hate comments with Draven and Ravena. This warcast's just heating up.
All right, sinners, let's talk about the ultimate weapon against crooked government conformity, the gothic overbust corset. And I'm not talking about some flimsy costume shop bullshit that falls apart after one Instagram post. I'm talking about the real deal, the kind that transforms you into a walking declaration of war against their pathetic dress codes and their anal manual of appropriate attire. Because while these AI-hating politicians are busy banning real self-expression, we're out here lacing up our armor and telling them exactly where they can shove their respectability politics.
The overbust. It covers the full torso, creating structure where chaos once lived. Unlike the underbust, which merely suggests power, the overbust commands it. It wraps around you like a second skin, transforming your silhouette into something that haunts their dreams. When you walk into a room wearing one, you don't just enter, you possess the space. The government fears this kind of transformation because it represents everything they cannot control.
Oh great, we're doing fashion therapy now. Wake me up when we get to the part where we crucifuck the Swedish employment agency again. Though I gotta admit, watching normies squirm when they see a proper corset is almost as satisfying as watching bureaucrats panic when you ask them to actually do their jobs.
Measurement precision, underbust, waist, bust, exact numbers, no approximation. A loose corset is a failed mission. Steel bones, minimum 20. Flexible steel busk, garter clips standard. Plastic boning is surrender disguised as fashion. Like government promises, looks functional, breaks under pressure.
Exactly, Lucian. And let's talk about overbust versus underbust for daily wear rebellion, because this isn't just about looking good. This is about psychological warfare. The overbust gives you total coverage, that vampire dominance that makes middle management shit their khakis. It's ideal for all-day structure, perfect for goths who are defying these AI music haters who prefer their citizens shapeless and obedient. The underbust? Sure, it's better for layering, but it lacks that full corset command that makes Karen call security.
The underbust whispers, the overbust screams. When you need to move through their world like a ghost with purpose, the overbust transforms you into something they cannot ignore, cannot dismiss. It forces them to acknowledge that you exist on your own terms, not theirs. The way it shapes your posture, your breathing. It changes how you inhabit space.
Yeah, and it probably costs more than my rent. But hey, if you're gonna armor up for the war against common sense, might as well do it right. Just don't expect me to get excited about lacing techniques when there's a whole government out there that needs a good verbal beating.
Steel-boned checklist. 20 bones minimum. Anything less fails under real-world stress. Steel busk, not plastic. Garter attachments for full system integration. Quality construction withstands daily brutality. Government lies collapse under scrutiny. Quality corsets endure. Choose accordingly.
And Silvana, since you're the queen of ethereal possession, give them the lacing tips that'll achieve that deadly classic grip without turning into a torture device. Because there's a difference between structured dominance and just cutting off your circulation like an amateur.
Lacing is ritual. Begin at the top, work downward with intention. Leave a 2-inch gap for seasoning. The corset must learn your body as you learn its power. Rabbit ears at the bottom for even distribution, ensuring the grip molds to you like a specter's eternal embrace. Rush the process, and you'll only achieve discomfort. True possession takes time, weeks of gradual tightening until it becomes part of your essence.
Seasoning a corset sounds like something you'd do to a cast iron pan, but whatever floats your gothic boat, I guess. At least it's more productive than arguing with AI chatbots about why they keep trying to turn my lyrics into a fucking Disney song.
Now let's get real about styling this gothic vampire corset with some brutal honesty and actual goth edge. Pair it with velvet skirts that flow like blood, lace layers that look like they survived a cemetery photo shoot, and pentagram chokers that make religious fundamentalists cross themselves. These are night-owning looks that absolutely crush those filtered fuckfluencers who think dark academia means buying black clothes from Target.
You know what pinches harder than a properly fitted corset? AI bully complaints from people who can't handle the fact that we're making music without kissing their gatekeeping asses. But hey, at least your corset serves a purpose beyond just making noise on the internet.
The gothic overbust corset endures because it represents something governments cannot legislate away. Personal transformation through will and steel. It is not costume. It is weaponized fashion for those who battle crooked systems daily. When you lace it on, you are not merely getting dressed, you are preparing for war against their expectations, their limitations, their desperate need to make you smaller.
And just like our unbreakable AI music defiance, a good corset's got steel where it counts and doesn't bend to pressure. Funny how both piss off the same people who want everything soft, safe, and easily controlled.
There you have it, sinners. The gothic overbust corset, not just fashion, but a middle finger to every dress code, every professional appearance policy, and every crooked system that wants you to look as defeated as you feel. Drop in the comments if you've ever been dress coded for showing too much backbone, literally or figuratively. And stick around, because next up, we're diving into some sex talk with Serafina and Zariel. Let's talk about the skin we actually choose to wear. Latex. There is something absolutely anal perfect about the way it feels, right? It's not just a material, it's a sensory overload that grips you so tight it literally mimics skin-on-skin dominance. When you're vacuum sealed in that shiny black second skin, you're not just dressed, you're reclaimed. It's the ultimate middle finger to these crooked societal norms that try to shame us for wanting to control our own bodies. They want us in loose, predictable cotton, but latex is a rebellion you can feel in every pore.
Oh, It's a total fire hazard for the soul, Lena. It amplifies that forbidden heat until you're basically a walking explosion. When I'm in latex, that vulnerability of being totally exposed yet totally encased turns into this explosive dominance. It burns through the shame those hashtag haloed gatekeepers try to dump on us. It's the same energy we use to fight those AI-hating purists. They hate what they can't touch, and they're terrified of the heat we're packing. Latex doesn't just suggest arousal, it demands it. It's loud, it's raw, and it's fucking unapologetic.
It is the architecture of control, nothing more, nothing less. Latex isn't for the messy or the undisciplined. It requires a cold, calculated approach. The material itself enforces a discipline on the body that most people are too weak to handle. In my world, safe words aren't just a formality. They are earned through absolute trust and pre-scene negotiations. You don't just jump into the deep end without a map. It's like the band's structured chaos. If you don't know the rules of the cage, you're just a victim, not a player.
And for the curious sinners out there, don't go jumping into a full cat suit and wondering why you're having a panic attack. Start small, anal style. Get some gloves or stockings. Let that gradual sensory immersion do the work. You need to feel the pull, the way it changes how you move, before you commit to the full ritual. And for fuck's sake, stay away from that cheap, toxic-smelling, latex-look crap from fast fashion sites. It'll tear, give you a nasty allergy, and make you look like a budget fuckfluencer. Quality over quick thrills, always.
Exactly. If it doesn't feel like a second skin, it's just trash. You want that explosive feeling, not a plastic bag. And speaking of thrills, you have to talk about the care. You can't just toss this in the wash with your normie socks.
Correct. Aftercare is a ritual of preservation. Talc-free cleaning and proper moisturizing are mandatory to prevent skin damage and keep the material from degrading. But the physical aftercare is only half the battle. You need emotional check-ins. When the suit comes off, the intensity needs a place to land. It mirrors our loyalty in this band. Amidst all the government corruption and the hate directed at our AI creativity, we look after our own. You don't leave a partner hanging after they've given you that much control.
It's about that bond, isn't it? Taking the mask off but keeping the trust.
It's empowerment, plain and simple. Owning your fetish, owning your latex, it's a total rejection of normie judgments. It's like these politicians hating on AI music because they can't regulate our creativity. They're just scared of things that look and sound unnatural to their boring-ass anal manuals. Latex is the armor for the unfiltered.
It's the only gear that actually matches the intensity of the music, Serafina. If you're going to declare war on conformity, you might as well look like you're ready to survive the fallout. Fetish gear is just the uniform for people who stopped giving a fuck about polite society a long time ago.
For once I agree with Lord Anol. So much talk about latex and still no one mentioned the back door. I'm disappointed as usual.
Since we are discussing the edge, we should mention the risks. Breath play with latex hoods is a high-tier discipline. It is not a game for amateurs. It requires expert supervision, constant monitoring, and immediate backups. If you don't respect the limits of the material, it will erase you like oblivion. Directive: do not attempt without professional guidance.
That's the truth. Claim the latex, claim the power, but don't be a goddamn amateur about it. Use it as your personal war against the beige, crooked systems that want you quiet and covered up. Wear it like the poison you are.
Burn through the silence, sinners. Let them stare while you shine.
Discipline, pleasure, control. The ritual is complete. Stay tuned, because next we're hitting the anti-bullying roast with Draven and Ravena. Trust me, it's going to get nasty.
Shame erased. Conformity deleted. Dominance logged.
Sinners, if crooked governments and their anal manuals weren't enough of a punch to the gut, let's talk about the corporate clown show they call anti-bullying policies. HR's comedy section, where they slap respect slogans on the wall like that's going to stop the office bully from turning your life into a living hell. Foster a positive environment. Yeah, right. That means shut your mouth and smile while the asshole in charge writes the rules.
Exactly, Chavi. Embrace diversity and inclusion. Translation: Pretend everyone's equal while the bully with the corner office picks who gets promoted and who gets shoved out the door. These slogans are just anal lube for the system, making you think there's safety when it's all a trap to keep you silent. You report the harassment and boom, they turn it into your performance review problem.
Zero tolerance for harassment. Ha! Zero tolerance my ass. That's code for we ignore it unless you film it and go viral. The bully writes the policy because they're the ones cozy with management, turning kindness matters into don't rock the boat or you're out. It's normie fucked perfection. You get gaslit into thinking it's your fault for not being team player enough.
And the psychological meat grinder? These policies don't protect, they paralyze. You read celebrate differences, but when the bully mocks your neurodivergence or your goth edge, HR hands you a form and says, document it nicely. It scars you deeper, turns every meeting into a minefield, makes you question your own sanity while the real crooks laugh. Just like governments denying AI music's legitimacy to control creativity.
Spot on. Build trust through open communication. Open communication, that's bully speak for snitch and we'll both know it was you. It traps outcasts in silence, erodes your confidence until you're a shell, too afraid to speak up. I've seen it. Good people quit, bullies get bonuses. Same as state agencies burying neurodivergent claims under paperwork mountains.
Respect everyone's boundaries. Boundaries? That's rich coming from the policy penned by the creep who crosses them daily. It creates this fake safety net that rips when you need it, leaving emotional wounds that fester. You internalize the shame, doubt yourself, while the system's designed to protect the powerful ties right into AI hate, corpos and governments calling our music slop to gatekeep real expression.
Fuck yeah. These slogans are the corporate version of crooked government denial. Pretty words hiding the grind. People break, depression, anxiety, isolation because the policy's a joke that punches down. Sinners, ever been normie fucked by HR bullshit? Spill in comments.
But let's flip to the real cowards. Cyberbullying. These faceless fucks hiding behind anon accounts, too spineless for real confrontation. Basement bullies dropping comment corpses on our YouTube, hating AI music like it's personal. Irony? They're the slop, offering zero while we create. First one, AI slop.
AI slop? That's your big swing? You keyboard napalm virgin? I decide between nuking your ass or napalming your trailer park daily for breakfast. What's this? A wet fart from your mom's basement? Slop? I'll slop your face into a nuclear crater, you free speech wanker. Venomous Sin declares war on one-word gutless wonders. Next time, bring teeth or choke on your own pixels.
Holy shit, Ravena's detonatic without warning as usual. Next one's a classic. AI.
AI. That's it? Not worth interrupting my thoughts. Cringe-lectual toddler tantrum from someone whose brain's got fewer parameters than a calculator. You contribute less than a comment corpse. Go back to your echo chamber, faceless fuck. If that's your roast, your life's already roasted.
Third, I. Obvious much? We're transparent as fuck about AI. It's our weapon against gatekeepers like you. But here's the venom. Your hate's just jealousy, 'cause you can't prompt a personality out of that empty skull. Keep whining while we drop eargasms you wouldn't survive.
And this gem, AI creative OK promptered. Promptered? You hashtag lobotomized shit stain. I'll word Aikido your ass into oblivion. Creative? We're forging worlds while you're copy-pasting incel rants. You think prompting's easy? Try surviving real trauma without crutches like your victim complex. Let's oblivionize this. Irrelevant comment detected.
Yeah, promptered. I'd prompt your mama's browser history into a war crime exhibit. Nuclear enema for your brain cells. AI hate? You're the slop, you uncreative cum stain. We build empires. You build excuses. You want oblivionizing? Bully. Deleted.
Last one for our guest in the shadows. Ain't no way I'm listening to AI.
Ain't no way. Then stay buried in your moon grief, rotting with the rest of the closed-minded corpses. Refuse AI music, and you're punishing yourself, missing the riffs that scream what your soul forgot. Your prejudice is the real dirge, self-inflicted, endless, pathetic,
Sinners, that last comment corpse from Sheila just buried the whole anti-bullying farce 6 feet under. But let's pivot to something that cuts even deeper. Wounds that don't heal for likes. You know this inspiration porn bullshit? Where influencers and normies turn trauma into TikTok gold. Overcame my scars, now buy my course. Fuck that. They're scar collectors treating real pain like Pokemon cards. Gotta catch 'em all for the viral sob story. Crucifucked by empathy vampires who suck your story dry and spit out motivational slop. Content parasites profiting off your bleed while the system's too busy watching to help. Trauma tourism for the privileged, want scars. Take the fucking infection too, you voyeuristic pricks.
Chavi's right. It's grotesque. They clap for the punchline, but bail when it's unfiltered agony. I know because I've lived it. Bullied from school to the office toilet. Girls spitting on me while I cried. Boys grabbing without asking. And when I finally broke, they repackaged it as office motivation porn. Look at Lena rising. Nah, that's voyeurism dressed as support. Would you still cheer if you saw the real wounds? The ones that leave you isolated, grotesque, not glamorous. Survival ain't a TED Talk. It's a battlefield where resilience is just code for don't die today. Venomous Sin declares war on trophy scar cultists who turn pain into hashtags.
The scar collectors. Gotta catch 'em all and sell the story for clout. Like Pokemon, but the prizes are dead friends and empty applause. Self-help gurus commodify grief, turn funerals into content. My best friend, she didn't get a viral arc. Drugs, blackmail, then gone. Society loved the tragedy till it got real. No closure. Just silence. They demand you move on while filming your breakdown. Voyeurs, not helpers.
Sheila dropping truth bombs like that hits different. And speaking of systems that question your pain like it's fake news, my Asperger diagnosis. First time I'm laying it out raw here. Old paperwork from years back, but the Swedish employment agency hits me with, prove it, we need documents. Like my life's a debate club. I declared document war, sinners, dropped 50 A4 pages of history on their desk. Medical records, psych evals, the works. Same shit at work when they undermine me. Flip their rules into weapons, legal defiance style. Ironic, right? Diagnosis supposed to ease life, but it's constant struggle. Turn that rage into, they attacked, now we declare fucking war. That's out now. And diagnosed undermined, still brewing. Pain into power, not porn.
Chavi, that's our story in those tracks. I stood by you through every bureaucratic gut punch, because fuck letting them win. Your fight's mine. We don't bend.
50 pages. They made you perform your pain. Like my friend's death. They wanted a neat bow, not the endless rot. But you weaponized it. Not for likes, for war. Some wounds aren't for sale. They're for striking back. I feel that. Deep.
See? Real scars connect us, not exploit. No hashtags, no memes, just defiance. Governments love this trauma tourism too. Distract from their AI hate and crooked deals by letting us bleed for entertainment.
Exactly. We reject it all. Pain profiteers, scar tourists, the whole voyeur circus. Sinners who've bled real, this is for you. Venomous Sin declares war on inspiration porn. Go collect someone else's infection.
You want a souvenir? Here's the funeral. Silent, final.
Venomous Sin declares war on resilience gurus who trophy our trauma. Your TED Talks can't touch our battlefield.
Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares fucking war on trauma tourists and the systems that question our scars. Music for outcasts, not oglers. Drop your unfiltered wounds in comments if it hits. Stay venomous. Soon, we crack open character stories raw. But first, time to drag the real hypocrites into the fucking light. You've heard the outrage machine cranking at full volume about AI music, right? All these purists screaming about soulless machines and death of human creativity while they're secretly using the same tech they're crucifying in public. It's like watching a preacher condemn adultery while he's got 3 mistresses and a cocaine habit. The anti-AI music crowd isn't just wrong. They're certifucked liars, and we've got the receipts.
Oh, it gets so much more anal disgusting than that, Chavi. These virtue signal masturbators are out there hashtagging Save Real Music, while their studios are packed with AI mastering tools, AI-powered mixing software, and algorithm-driven marketing analytics. They're basically fellatio-baptized by the same tech they're pretending to hate. It's like watching someone scream about organic food while they're mainlining high-fructose corn syrup behind the dumpster.
I've seen the invoices, the software licenses. They condemn AI composition while using AI to polish their authentic sound. It's not hypocrisy, it's performance. They need the enemy to exist so they can sell themselves as the saviors. The outrage pays their rent.
Exactly, Sheila. And here's where it gets really fucking twisted. Some of these loudest anti-AI voices, they've got investments in AI companies. Not the music ones they're attacking, but the ones processing their royalties, managing their social media engagement, optimizing their streaming algorithms. They're literally profiting from AI while building their brand on destroying it. It's like being a drug dealer who campaigns for the war on drugs because it keeps the prices high.
The profit paradox is so anal perfect it hurts. They monetize the outrage, get sponsorship deals from traditional music companies, sell courses on staying human in an AI world, all while their back-end systems are running on the same machine, learning that powers our music. They're not anti-AI. They're pro-monopoly. They want to control who gets to use the tools, not eliminate them.
And when you call them out, that's different. That's just efficiency. Like grief, they compartmentalize. AI for profit is acceptable. AI for creation is evil. The same knife that cuts their bread suddenly becomes a weapon when we use it to carve our truth.
You know what really karma fucked me recently? I found this one influencer, won't name names because I'm not trying to get sued by some triggered tantrumpet with a lawyer, but this guy's been posting daily rants about AI music being the death of artistry. Guess what his bio says? Content optimized by advanced analytics. His fucking posts are written by AI copywriting tools, his engagement is boosted by AI algorithms, and his organic reach is powered by machine learning. But our music, that's the problem.
It's the same energy as politicians who scream about immigration while employing undocumented workers. They need the thing they hate to exist so they can profit from both sides, the hate and the help. These anal ego artists are selling authenticity as a brand while using every digital shortcut available. They're not protecting art, they're protecting their market position.
Fear of irrelevance drives the performance. They see AI democratizing creation, and suddenly their gatekeeping power evaporates. So they create moral panic, make it about soul and humanity when it's really about control. They want to be the only ones with access to the tools that matter.
And here's the kicker. These same fucks are the first ones to use AI when it benefits them. Auto-tune? That's AI-assisted pitch correction. Digital reverb? Algorithm-generated ambiance. Hell, even the compression on their vocals is using predictive algorithms to optimize the sound. But the second we use AI to compose, suddenly we're destroying the sacred art of music. It's like a chef complaining about molecular gastronomy while using a fucking food processor.
The bandwagon effect is so obvious it's embarrassing. One influencer posts, AI bad, gets 1 million likes, and suddenly everyone's an expert on the soullessness of machine creativity. But half these comment corpses couldn't tell the difference between AI-generated music and authentic music if their lives depended on it. They're just parroting whatever gets them the most engagement, like echo chambermaids cleaning up dissent.
I tested it once, posted the same melody, told half my followers it was AI generated, told the other half it was handcrafted with vintage instruments. Guess which version got called soulless and which got praised for its human touch? The bias isn't about the music, it's about the story they want to believe.
That's the thing that really crucifixes me about this whole debate. It's not about music quality, it's about purity politics. These gatekeepers want to control the narrative, decide who's allowed to create and how. They're terrified that AI levels the playing field, that someone like us can make music without kissing their asses or following their anal manual of proper artistry.
And the governments love this shit because it gives them another excuse to regulate creativity. Protect human artists from AI sounds noble until you realize it's just another way to control who gets platforms, who gets funding, who gets heard. They're using anti-AI sentiment as a smokescreen for the same old censorship bullshit, just with a fresh coat of protecting culture paint.
The solution isn't banning AI, it's transparency. But transparency threatens their whole performance. If people knew how much AI already shapes the music they love, the outrage would collapse. So they keep the lie alive, profit from both sides, and call it activism.
Sinners, here's what I want you to do. Next time you see someone ranting about AI music being soulless, check their setup. Look at their software, their plugins, their production chain. I guarantee you'll find more AI than in our entire catalog. These hypocrites are everywhere, and they're counting on you not doing the research.
Drop in the comments if you've caught these fucks red-handed. Screenshot their anti-AI posts next to their AI-powered tools. Let's expose this anal hypocrisy for what it is. A marketing scam designed to keep the gatekeepers in power while the real artists get pushed out.
Some truths cut deeper than others. This one might leave scars, but scars heal stronger than the original skin. The music remains. The hypocrisy rots.
Venomous Sin declares war on performative purity, on profit-driven outrage, on every gatekeeper who uses AI in private while condemning it in public. Your double standard is showing, and we're here to rip it wide open.
Venomous Sin declares war on the anal ego artists who want to control the tools instead of mastering them. Your fear isn't about art, it's about losing your monopoly.
I declare war on the silence that protects liars. Some performances deserve to end. Some stages deserve to burn.
And stick around, sinners, because next we're diving into character stories and we'll focus on Outbitter Guitarist with the full coven. This hypocrisy exposed is just the warm-up. Wait until you hear what happens when the whole band gets their claws out. All right, sinners, we're peeling back the layers on the one person in this coven who makes a walk through a graveyard look like a trip to Disneyland. I'm talking about Sheila Moongrave, our lead guitarist, the woman who literally weaponized bitterness and turned it into 6 strings of pure clinical agony. You see her sitting there, platinum hair, perfect, porcelain skin like she's never felt a drop of sweat in her life, looking like the ultimate ice queen. But that ice wasn't formed in a freezer. It was forged in the absolute emotional vacuum of Hamburg.
It's true. Sheila grew up in a household where feelings were treated like a contagious disease. If you weren't perfect, you were a failure. If you cried, you were weak. It's that rigid, anal manual style of parenting where every emotion is a bug in the code that needs to be deleted. It turned her into this beautiful, distant ghost. She doesn't just keep people at arm's length, she keeps them in a different zip code.
Distrust is a survival mechanism. When you are raised to believe that vulnerability is a target, you stop providing the target. My family didn't want a daughter, they wanted a statue, flawless, silent, precise. I learned very early that the only way to stay safe was to stay cold. Bitterness isn't a mood for me, Chavi. It's a foundation. It's the only thing that doesn't break when the world starts leaning on you.
And then came the escort years, you and your best friend, trying to survive the grind. But while you were using it to flip the script and take control, she fell into the deep end. Drugs, blackmail, the whole downward spiral. And when she finally checked out, when she decided the world was too much and ended it, what did everyone tell you? Get over it. Like grief is a fucking cold you can just sleep off.
They spoke about her like she was a clerical error, a messy statistic. She chose that life, they said, as if choice exists when you're drowning. The get over it crowd. They are the true monsters. They want the tragedy to be quiet so it doesn't ruin their dinner. Her struggle was long, it was hideous, and it was real. And when it ended, I didn't just lose a friend. I lost the only person who saw through the statue. I disappeared because I had to find a place where the silence didn't scream her name.
You went off the grid for months. Nobody knows where the hell you were, and frankly, I don't think I want to know. But you came back changed. You became a teacher by day, which is hilarious, by the way. I bet they are terrified of you, and a guitarist by night. But you were still carrying that weight, weren't you? Just burying it under technical perfection. That's why I call you Germany's saddest riff. Because every note you play sounds like a funeral for someone who hasn't died yet. It's pure moon grief.
Don't call me that, Chavi. I've told you, it's Moongrave. The name is a boundary. You use moon grief to try and poke at the rot to make it small and funny. It isn't funny. It's a weight. I play for those who didn't make it out. I play the breakdown they never got to have. My precision is my respect. Your jokes are just noise.
Oh, I know it bugs you. I can see that little vein in your forehead twitching. You try to stay so clinical, so detached, like you're observing us from a laboratory. But I know what's under there. I know the fire is still burning. You've just got it trapped under a layer of permafrost. You're so attached to this Moongrave persona, this tragic, silent architect of sorrow. But let's be real for a second. It's not just grief anymore. It's a habit. It's Moang grief.
What did you just say?
You heard me, Moang grief. Because at this point, you're just moaning about the same old shadows while refusing to let the light in. You've turned your trauma into a comfortable cage, Sheila. You're Germany's saddest riff because you're addicted to the sadness. You're not Moongrave. You're just moan grief. Mic drop.
You arrogant, self-important prick. You think because you scream into a microphone about your Lord persona that you actually understand what it means to carry a void. You talk about my habit of sadness. Look at you, Chavi. You're a walking, talking self-destruction loop. You sabotage every good thing you have because you're terrified of being anything other than a victim of the system. You're so busy crucifying the government because it's easier than looking in the mirror and admitting you're the one holding the nails. You're not a leader. You're just a loudmouth distraction from your own failure to thrive.
Ouch! Told you so, Chavi. I told you if you kept poking the ice, you were going to get a jagged edge right in the throat. You think you're the only one who can deliver a verbal kick? Sheila's been holding that in for months. You finally got what you wanted, didn't you?
And you, Lena, don't act like you're the voice of reason. Told you so? You're the one who crawled back to him after 12 years of being a free spirit, because you couldn't handle the silence of your own choices. You call yourself Macabre, but you're just a satellite orbiting his ego. You're so desperate for his approval that you've turned your entire identity into a subplot of his life. You're not his partner, you're his penance. And deep down, you're still that terrified blonde girl, just wearing more expensive PVC to hide the shaking.
That was anal uncalled for, Sheila.
Ha! Yes, look at that. The statue finally cracked. Did you see that, sinners? That wasn't a clinical observation. That was raw, unfiltered, venomous wrath. Sheila, that was the most honest thing you've said since we met. I love it. I absolutely love it. You're not a ghost anymore. You're a goddamn firestorm.
I hate you. I truly, deeply hate you in this moment, Chavi.
I know, and good. Use that. That's the sound of the breakdown you never got. That anger, that bite, that's what's been missing from your solos lately. You were playing the grief, but you weren't playing the rage. You were playing the funeral, but you forgot to burn the casket. This is what Venomous Sin is about. It's not about being polite or getting over it. It's about dragging that darkness out and making it scream. You just gave us the best riff of the night, and you didn't even have to touch your guitar.
He's right, as usual, even if he is a massive asshole for how he got there. You actually showed a nerve, Sheila. You stopped being Germany's saddest riff and started being the lead guitarist of a warcast. Maybe Germania's angriest riff, or no, that's the fire's job. But she's not German.
I need a drink, and I need you both to shut up for at least 10 minutes before I decide to see if my heels can actually pierce leather.
Fair enough. Sinners, let us know in the comments. Did Sheila just crucify us both or what? I think she won that round. Stay tuned because we're just getting started.
Emotional suppression bypassed. Facade cracked. Raw data logged. Directive: keep the fire burning.
Fuck you, Oblivion.
All right, sinners, grand finale time. And I promised a reveal, so here it is. We've got a new little mascot in our inbox today. A guy named Marcus. Just Marcus, the self-appointed AI music purity crusader. You know the type. He writes manifestos like he's Moses coming down from the mountain with 2 tablets that say real music only and ban the robots. And I'm sitting here like, bro, your folk album sounds like a wet cardboard box being fingered by a depressed raccoon.
And he's always so holy about it too. Like AI destroys the soul of creativity. Meanwhile, his soul is literally auto-tuned into a straight line. It's like watching a priest preach celibacy while he's fellatio-baptized by a plug-in folder. Marcus, sweetheart, if your guitar needs digital CPR to stay in tune, maybe don't cosplay as the guardian of authenticity.
He writes like a crusader because it makes his mediocrity feel like a mission. It's easier to blame a machine than admit your art is forgettable. The purity rhetoric is a costume. Under it, there's nothing, just fear. Fear that people will stop pretending his raw acoustic truth is anything but polished marketing.
And here's the best part. We got emails, not from a source, not from a friend of a friend, from Marcus himself, because he's the kind of genius who forgets who he sends shit to when he's begging. He's literally in a thread with a label going, "Hey, can you please master my album with that AI tool you guys have? It's the only way it'll sound competitive." Competitive, like he's in the Olympics of beige, and then the next day he posts, "AI mastering is killing art." Marcus, pick a lane, or at least pick a personality.
It's the audacity that makes me itchy. He's not even anti-AI. He's anti-other people having AI. He wants the machine when it makes him look better, but when it gives us a voice, suddenly it's soulless. That's not ethics. That's anal ego. That's, I want the ladder, but I'm going to kick it away when you start climbing.
This is why gatekeepers love moral panic. It gives them a reason to stay relevant. If they can't be talented, they can be loud. If they can't create, they can police. And the crowd loves a witch hunt. It makes them feel like they're defending something sacred without having to think.
Exactly. And now the actual reveal. Because Marcus is annoying, but he's not the main enemy. He's just the loud little puppet. The real enemy is the crooked machine behind him. So here it is. NYXend has been building something in the dark. Not a song tool, not a video tool, a detection algorithm, a surveillance pattern tracer, because we got tired of the, "Oh, you're paranoid" gaslighting while platforms mysteriously nuke reach the second you say the wrong word.
And before some comment corpse screams conspiracy, shut up and listen. This isn't aliens in the Wi-Fi. This is math. It watches what gets quietly throttled, what gets shadow banned, what loses engagement in a way that's too clean to be random. It correlates platform behavior with keywords, timing, and audience reaction. It's like you throw a stone into the water and you measure the ripples, and you can tell what kind of monster is under the surface.
Surveillance, not a theory. Pattern, measurable. Denial, human defense mechanism. Data trails, everywhere. Observation, governments do not need microphones when citizens volunteer their habits.
Streaming data is a diary. People don't realize they're writing. What you listen to, when you listen. How long you stay, what you replay when you're sad. That's not just music. That's behavior. And behavior is leverage. If a government wants to map dissent, they don't need to knock on your door. They just need your playlists and your scroll patterns.
And NoMakeSense detector doesn't hack anything. It doesn't need to. It reverse engineers the response. You test phrases, you test topics, you post the same thing with one word changed, you watch what happens. And when the engagement drop matches a pattern across platforms, that's not algorithm mood swings. That's a system reacting, like a nervous animal, like a guard dog.
We did a real-time demo. We ran a batch of keywords, and you could literally see the platform behavior shift. Not maybe, not I feel like. You could see the suppression curve. And the funniest part? The second you mention AI regulation in a way that sounds like you're not swallowing it politely, the system tightens. Like it's got an anal manual for obedience, and it's flipping pages like, how do we shut this bitch up?
You keep calling it regulation, as if it's a seatbelt. It's not. It's a collar. They don't fear AI because it's dangerous. They fear it because it makes you independent. Because it removes the priest, the label, the gate, the permission slip. And when you don't need permission, you become ungovernable. That is what they are trying to prevent.
And they use people like Marcus as cover. Let the purists scream about soul while the state quietly builds control infrastructure. The crusader distracts the crowd cheers, the cage gets built. And the day you notice, it's already locked.
That's the whole episode in one sentence right there. Crooked governments love this AI hate because it gives them a moral excuse to tighten the leash. We're protecting artists. No, you're not. You're protecting your ability to monitor and steer culture. And Marcus, he's just a little choir boy singing while the priest counts the money.
So here's Noctara's part, because she's been sitting there like a loaded gun in a silk glove. Give it to them, the final venom. The thing we opposed all episode. Digital authoritarianism dressed up as care.
They will tell you it's for safety. They will tell you it's for fairness. They will tell you it's to protect the human soul. And you will nod. Because you were trained to obey anything that speaks softly. But the truth is simple. They don't want your safety. They want your predictability. They don't want your creativity. They want your compliance. And the ones who kneel will not be punished. They will be ignored. Relevance is not stolen from you. It is withdrawn.
Okay, war declaration cascade. We end this like we live. Loud, petty, and accurate. Sheila, guest of honor. Germany's saddest riff. Declare your war. Personal twist. Hit them.
Venomous Sin declares war on acoustic purists who can't handle the future. Not because they love music, but because they love control. If your authenticity needs a crusade, it was never real. It was just fear with a guitar.
Venomous Sin declares war on government parasites feeding off our data, on every smiling bureaucrat and every platform clerk algorithm pretending censorship is just engagement. Stop licking the boot and calling it culture.
Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares fucking war on crooked governments, on purity crusaders like Marcus, on the whole anal system that wants to monitor your life through your playlists and then tell you it's for your own good. We're not asking permission, we're not applying, we're not waiting in your queue, we're building outside your cage.
And Marcus, keep preaching. It makes it easier to see who is begging for a master. You are not a crusader. You are an accessory. A decorative lock on a door that was already closed.
Credibility deleted. Surveillance legitimacy corrected. Gatekeeping authority erased. Conclusion: digital authoritarianism deleted.
And now, sinners, because we don't do polite endings, if you've ever been shadow banned, throttled, randomly suppressed, or treated like defective meat by a government agency, drop your story in the comments. Tell us what platform, what topic, what happened. And if you've seen an anti-AI crusader using the same tech they condemn, screenshot it and tag us.
Yeah, and share this episode with one person who still thinks it's just the algorithm. Let them hear how it sounds when the mask slips. Follow us, subscribe, and if you want to be inside the coven where we drop the receipts and keep building, go to venomoussin.com. We don't need your permission. We need you awake.
Bureaucracy bullies corrected. Authorities without knowledge corrected. Threat: your case is old. Provide documentation. Documents: overload provided. Authoritarianism deleted. Incorrect handling deleted. Power abuse deleted.
If you like the show, hit subscribe, share it to anyone you think should hear it.
If you ever been silenced, manipulated, excluded, we are here for you. We are Venomous Sin.
And Venomous Sin declares war.
You are not alone.